Shalom, Israel, Shalom. Shabbat Hezekiah back at it with another lesson. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory and praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. That's the most high God of Israel, none else. And it's the only begotten Son who the world calls Jesus Christ. I got a quick lesson. Amalek, Jewish, will be destroyed forever, man. So let's get straight to it. I'm kind of pressed on time. Got some things I need to handle.
Israel is burning children alive. Israel is burning children alive. For 1 year, I have watched Israel burn children alive. You don't care about veterans. You don't care about American values. You are destroying this country. Shame on all of you. May God give you the moral courage. May God give you the moral courage to do the right thing. May God give you your heart. Please. Shame on you. Israel is burning children alive.
So Israel is burning children. The Israelis, man. The fake Jewish people over there, man. That in their military, the IDF, they are burning children alive for the past year. She said. Let's get more. And I'm bringing out accounts from their own people. Maybe you'll believe it if they tell us.
I am a nurse and I belong at the bedside right now. Actually, I'm supposed to be at work. But here I am for the 27th time to tell you about the honor and privilege, as well as the heartbreak of serving as a medical mission nurse in Gaza about 10 months ago. As a nurse, I took an oath to stand by those in need. But what I witnessed in Gaza wasn't just a humanitarian crisis, and it wasn't a war, it was genocide. I witnessed the repercussions of 85,000 tons of bombs dropped on a population of 2 million people the size of Washington, D.C. I stood among a sea of hundreds of thousands of homeless civilians. I saw families that were shredded apart and a landscape reduced to rubble. This is all part of a calculated campaign to erase a people. Israel has murdered 250,000 people within a year. I do want to say, as a witness to Gaza's destruction, the most important voices and testimonies should be from the people of Gaza. They should be the ones standing here to speak their truth. But their voices have been silenced through bombs, through blockades, through oppression, through propaganda, through media bans. So now it's become my moral obligation to speak on their behalf as a witness. Today, there are 0 fully functioning hospitals available in Gaza, 0. Every single hospital has been bombed or cut off from supplies or electricity. I treated patients who arrived in relentless waves, many too far gone to save, and it wasn't because we lacked skill or compassion, but it was because of the level of violence combined with Israel's blockade on aid that collapsed the infrastructure of the healthcare system there. Doctors and nurses were forced to make difficult decisions, choosing which lives to save and which to let go, not because they lacked the will, but because the world allows Israel's inhumane blockade and bombardment to continue. Hospitals already under siege were running on fumes, no supplies, no electricity, no medicine, little to no staff, barely even having the space to breathe, let alone bury their dead. Israel has deliberately killed over 1,000 healthcare workers. Some were even raped and tortured to death. This Holocaust is being live streamed in real time online, and the Israeli forces have no shame in boasting about it on TikTok. Yet the world remains silent. Despite the horror and devastation I've witnessed, I've also witnessed an unbreakable resilience and humanity. The people of Gaza held on to their humanity with a strength that humbled me. I worked alongside healthcare heroes who continued to save lives even after losing their own spouses, children, siblings, parents in a single airstrike. And while grieving their own losses, they continued to show up every day, determined to save one life, even if that meant costing them their own. Exhausted doctors and nurses, also victims of genocide, consistently offered me their last scraps of food in the midst of famine. I've never met a more selfless and generous group of people. But let me be clear, their resilience does not absolve us from taking action. This is not just about Gaza. It's also about the silence that threatens all of us. What is happening in Gaza isn't just a tragedy for Palestinians. It is a threat and a warning to all of us. It is a litmus test. What we allow to happen there gives Israel and any other oppressor encouraged by our silence the green light to carry out similar atrocities elsewhere. I cannot unsee what I saw, and you should not unhear what I'm telling you guys. To my fellow healthcare workers who remain silent in the face of this Holocaust, Where's your humanity? How can you turn away while an entire population is denied the right to life? You took the same oath that I took to preserve life and to do no harm. But your silence betrays that oath. Silence in the face of genocide is complicity. The world must not look away as Gaza bleeds. This is not just Gaza's fight, it is the world's fight. The time to act was a year ago. The future will judge us by how we respond to this moment. So be the one to stand up and not stand by. Demand a ceasefire now. Demand justice now. Because if we fail Gaza, we fail humanity.
Well, there won't be no ceasefire, right? There won't be no ceasefire. So they burning children alive. They bombing hospitals. There's a famine going on. They unalive 250,000 of the Palestinians, right? And they still won't stop ceasefire. These are monsters. I'm telling you. And these supposed to be the children of God, God's favorite chosen people? You got to be kidding me. Let's get more.
The human rights group Amnesty International accused Israel of committing genocide in the Gaza Strip during its war with Hamas, saying it has deliberately tried to destroy Palestinians by mounting deadly attacks, destroying vital infrastructure, and preventing the delivery of food and aid. The group said such actions could not be justified by Hamas's attack into Israel in October 2023, which ignited the war, or by the presence of militants in civilian areas.
Israel's actions have wiped out entire multi-generational families. They have destroyed Palestinian homes and livelihood, wreaked a dreadful havoc on their infrastructure and on their ties to the land. All of that comes on top of years of apartheid, dispossession, unlawful military occupation.
Amnesty also said that the U.S. and other allies of Israel could be complicit in genocide and called on them to halt arms shipments. The Biden administration says it believes the report's accusations are unfounded. Israel has adamantly rejected genocide allegations against it as anti-Semitic blood libel. It is challenging such allegations at the International Court of Justice. It called Amnesty International a, quote, deplorable and fanatical organization.
With a record as long as your arm, Amnesty has a documented history of framing Israel as fundamentally illegitimate. For Amnesty, Israel was born guilty in 1948 and have been guilty ever since.
Amnesty International.
He said it was born guilty since 1948. Yeah, because the land don't belong to you. You got it through corruption, deceit, and beguiling and trickery. Right?
Israel, a local branch of the organization that was not involved in the report, also disputed the allegation of genocide, but said there were suspicions Israel had committed, quote, widespread violations of international law that may amount to crimes against humanity and ethnic cleansing. Amnesty's report adds an influential voice to a growing list of players that have accused Israel of committing genocide, which would put it alongside some of the deadliest conflicts of the past 80 years, including Cambodia, Sudan, and Rwanda.
All right, let's get more. So they set people on fire. So-called, well, it ain't no so-called. It's a genocide going on. A lot of unaliving. What else they doing? Let's get into it. What else are they doing?
Doctor who I believe is out of or has some connections to Copenhagen, Denmark. She's Danish. Dr. Anastasia Maria Lopez family. Just the other day, she posted a 5-year-old article that headlines, after years of denying it, Israel finally admits to sterilizing Black Ethiopian Jewish immigrants without their knowledge. This doctor, you all, whether
you're trying to exterminate our brothers over there, the Falasho Jews over there that's living in Ethiopia. So they unaliving 250,000 of Palestinians, the Ishmaelites. They bomb their mosques and synagogues and churches and hospitals. They causing a famine over there. They unaliving women and children. They setting children on fire. They Salakia. They sterilizing our brothers and sisters in Africa, man. They trying to exterminate us. They trying to make it so we can't be able to populate no more.
You know it or not, she's very prominent. She has over 1.4 million followers there. Watch this. She's the one that gives a lot of breaking and insightful information about shots and different things like that. You know what I'm talking about, right? So when I saw this post that she ostensibly, with her asking the question, you can perhaps see the tweet here where she's saying what, like she didn't know. This is the importance of Black media outlets like this one to tell our stories, because still a lot of the world is unaware of what we go through, even if it's familiar to you. Remember, your circles, the people that you hang out with might be aware of it. But baby, there's over 8 billion with the big people on our planet that may not know. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about right now, I'm reading from the Center for Genetics and Association. This is a piece that they wrote way back in 2013, where it headlines similarly to the one that Dr. Lupus circulated. Says Israel admits targeting Ethiopian Jews for compulsory contraception. This mentions that it was posted by Diane Tober, February 7th of 2013, where it says after 5 years of denials, Israeli government officials have admitted to targeting Ethiopian Jewish immigrant women with long-acting contraceptive injection without their consent. I'm going to say it again, without their consent.
So they trying to destroy our women and our men over there. This guy is a demon. This guy is really a demonic, diabolic monster, man. I'm telling you, man. These people is not the people. These people don't give a damn about us.
I'm going to say it again. Without their consent. Most of the women were either coerced into accepting the Depo-Provera injections while living in Israeli-run transit camps in Ethiopia, or were unaware that the injections produced temporary sterilization. This controversy that surfaced in 2008 when Seba Reuven interviewed 35 Ethiopian women awaiting immigration to Israel. Some of their stories included a report by Israeli investigative journalist Gail Gabe that aired several weeks ago on Israeli educational television. It talks about how one Ethiopian woman explained, and this is a direct quote, family, if you don't, you won't go to Israel. You won't get aid or medical care. We were afraid. We didn't have a choice. Without them and their aid, we couldn't leave there. So we accepted the injection. It was only with their permission that we were allowed to leave. After arriving in Israel, the Ethiopian immigrants still received Depo-Provera in disproportionate numbers in the HMOs providing healthcare services. Did y'all hear that? According to a report by Hedva Iyal, I'm sure I'm messing that Hebrew word up, at Isha Laisha, a feminist organization in Haifa. Y'all don't come for me with that mispronunciation. Among the 4,833 Israeli women injected with Depo-Provera between 2005 and 2008, 57% were Ethiopian origin. Wow. Yet Ethiopians comprise less than 2%. I gotta say this slow. They comprise less than 2% of the population. Over the past 10 years, Ethiopians in Israel have experienced a 50% decline in birth rate.
A 50% decline in birth rate done by these beasts.
Women's groups in Israel were alerted to the situation in 2008 when Rachel Mangoli, who runs a daycare center for 120 Ethiopian children in a suburb of Tel Aviv with a large Ethiopian community, observed that she had received only one new child in the previous 3 years. And it goes on.
That's enough on that, man. If y'all want to see the rest on that, man, I'm getting upset, man. We got more. Let's read this, and then we're gonna watch the video. On September 27, 2022, multiple children were rescued from a jungle compound in Mexico. They were being trafficked by a Jewish sect. Following a raid by police, around 20 traffickers were arrested. The sect Lev Tahar is known for extremist practices in opposing a strict regimen on its followers. It advocates child marriage, inflicts harsh punishments even for minor transgressions, and requires women and girls as young as 3 years old to completely cover up with robes. Tupacolo and Chippa State was raided by an elite police unit after a months-long investigation and surveillance operation involving Mexican and Guatemalan authorities, in addition to a private 4-man team from Israel, including former Mossad agents and domestic intelligence agents. So you see that? Their own people is even on their ass. Excuse my language. But you know, I keep it real, uncut, unedited, and real with y'all. Let's get to this video. So this is what they doing, man.
Multiple minors have been rescued from the jungle compound of a Jewish extremist group in Mexico following a raid by police. The Left Tahor group, known for their extremist practices and imposing a strict regime on their members, was investigated on suspicion of trafficking minors in the jungle north of Tapachula in the Chiapas state. Mexican police worked alongside a team from Israel, including former Mossad agents, in planning and carrying out the operation that took about 2 years to plan. The team traveled between Israel and Guatemala, where the branch had lived since 2014, carrying out several surveillance operations and working with local authorities there and even a Guatemalan private investigator. 9 members of the group have been arrested, and those children rescued are now being flown to Israel to live with their extended families.
This happened 2 years in Mexico. Now, what happened a couple weeks ago?
60 children were rescued in a police raid on a fringe fundamentalist Jewish sect called Left Tahor in Guatemala. Members of Left Tahor broke into a shelter and tried to recapture the kids. The Attorney General's office in Guatemala says with police help, they were able to locate and protect everyone once again. Now, Left Tahor is often described as an ultra-religious Jewish cult and is facing allegations of sexually abusing minors and human trafficking crimes, including forced pregnancy, child marriage, and rape. A horrific story indeed, but certainly not representative of the Jewish community as a whole. So to speak about this more, I am joined now by Ilan Lopez, the Executive Director of the Jewish community in Guatemala. Ilan, thanks for being with us on The Rundown this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, my main question right now is how the Jewish community in Guatemala is reacting to this horrific news that's really grappling the entire country.
Well, look, we were there yesterday when the grown-ups of the sect broke into a place where the kids were keeping safe, and they escaped and they took them away. We're dealing here with a crazy situation. You know, I'm sure that you all can imagine the PR disaster that this is for a Jewish community, the humanitarian crisis that we're seeing because these kids have been brainwashed and are being told to not cooperate with the authorities. We have been seeing how the Left Tahor members make a lot of aggressions towards the local authorities. And we as a community are supporting the local authorities for them to be able to do this job. We have been providing kosher food for the members for the kids. We have been providing with all the humanitarian needs for that they need to keep them well, following the Jewish laws. But for sure, we are very preoccupied and worried about the safety of these kids, the relationship and the reputation of the Jewish community as a whole, because these people, as you said, do not represent the Jewish community. They are not part of any Jewish community. And we have been saying since almost 10 years ago that the way that they behave do not represent it, do not follow the Jewish law.
Well, have you ever been in contact with members of Left Tahor since they've been in Guatemala? Have they tried to approach different members of your Jewish community?
No. So, look, we have a fundamental differences between us as a community and them. We are Zionists, proudly Zionists. We are people that respect the society and social laws.
He just said they the Zionists. His Jewish sect is the Zionists. Y'all worse than Y'all worse than the left to heart. That's the reason why it's the so-called genocide right now. You're the reason why my brothers in Ethiopia and the women are getting sterilized. You're the reason why this world is going into shambles. You're the cause of all the world wars. Yes, the Zionists.
And that's why they haven't been in contact with us, even though we have been following this issue for, as I said, the last 10 years when they arrived for the first time to Guatemala.
And so right now, Elon.
That's enough on that. Let's get into the scriptures. So these so-called Jewish people, they come from Esau, Edom. And they come from the tribe of Amalek. Right? Esau had a son named Eliphaz. And Eliphaz's name in the Hebrew, it means my God is gold. And Eliphaz had a son named Amalek. And the Jewish people today are the Amalekites. How you can know that? Just based off Eliphaz's Hebrew name, my God is gold. What people are the most richest? What people are the most wealthiest? Right? What people has the most power and influence and authority throughout the whole world? Yeah. The Jewish people. They run our governments. They're the lawmakers, attorney generals, treasurers, the Secretary of State. They run the Homeland Security, political affairs, national intelligence. They the head in science and technology, health and human services, the SEC, the Security for Health. All is ran or is led by the so-called Jewish people. This is the book of Genesis 36, verse 16. Duke Korah, Duke Gotham, and Duke Amalek. These are the dukes that came from Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Adad, right? So the word duke, let's see what the word duke means. Here we go. Duke.
Duke.
A sovereign male ruler of a continental European duchy. He's a sovereign ruler, right? 2, a nobleman of the highest hereditary rank. Just how like I just explained to you guys. Amalek is a duke, and today he holds the highest hereditary rank. He's the sovereign male ruler right now throughout the whole world. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 36, Ezekiel 36, verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, right? And against all Idumea. Idumea is a Greek word for Edom, Esau. Okay? Which have appointed my land. Wait, where's the Lord's land? Israel. Who's in Israel right now? Idumea, Esau, Eliphaz children, Amalek, the dukes. Read it on, which have appointed my land to their possession with the joy of all their hearts. 1948. With the spiteful minds, because they know that land don't belong to them. To cast it out for a prey. They invite all they little so-called Jewish people, brothers, family, kindred, kinfolk to come there and celebrate their little nasty gay parades and keep the Shabbat and the Pesach over there, drinking kosher wine and smoking kosher cigarettes and eating kosher pig. It's the book of Exodus, chapter 17, verse 14. And Yahweh said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek under heaven. Do you understand what the Most High say he's going to do to these so-called Jewish people? He's going to put out the remembrance of Amalek. They ain't going to be found no more. You understand? Let's get more. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25, verse 19. Therefore it shall be, when Yahweh thy power have given thee rest from all thy enemies round about, right? When we back in our homeland, we get rescued from this hellhole called America and throughout all the land of our captivities. And the land which Yahweh thy power give thee for inheritance to possess it when we go back to our homeland, which he promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the land of Canaan. Read it on. That you shall blot out. Hold on, wait. He said that we gonna do it? He said we gonna. You gotta, sometimes you gotta slow down, read these scriptures slowly and get the full power, get the full spirit of these scriptures. You understand? So this is what the Most High said. He said that you, the Israel, shall blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Thou should not forget it. The Lord's going to put the power on us. He's going to give us the power. He's going to give us his spirit of fury and anger, right? So we could use that against them and destroy them from under the heaven, man. And that goes with Obadiah, chapter 1. Well, it's only one chapter. Obadiah, verse 18. Obadiah, verse 10. You understand? He's going to give us the power to destroy these so-called Jewish people for all the wickedness and violence and oppression, right? And all the acts of straight barbaric, demonic, beast, monster things they have done throughout the whole world, throughout all nations throughout the world. You know? They was part of our slavery, right? They was the insurencers. They was the buyers, the sellers, the conductors, the slave masters, the slave woman, right? And I'm going to bring out that information tomorrow night, Lord willing. Right? I'm pressed for time, so I can't really go into the books, the different accounts, the history, the archaeology. Lord willing, I'm going to get into tomorrow. Let's get more. It's the book of Numbers, chapter 24, verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations. But what that means, he's the chief of all the nations. He's the chief. He runs the world. Just look up any top owner, top technology media mogul or whatever, CEO, CFOs, they are Amalek. They are so-called Jewish people. I'm telling you, right? According to what I was stating, all them titles I stated earlier. Read it on. So Amalek was the first of the nations, but check this out. Read it on. But his latter end shall be that he what? He perish forever. All praise to the Most High. Let's look up this word perish. Let's look up this word perish. And that's what we need to pray for and hope for and have faith in.
Perish.
What?
Perish.
Perish. Suffer death, typically in a violent, sudden, or untimely way. They ain't even gonna know what's coming. Right? Suffer complete ruin or destruction. All praises to the Most High. We get this. Let's get the similars. Be unalived. Fall. They're gonna expire. Their time is about to expire. meet one's death, lay down one's life, breathe one's last, pass away, give up the ghost, bite the dust like that serpent. Yeah, that's really it that I like. Decease, exit from being the chief of the nations. They're gonna disappear. They're gonna vanish. They're gonna fade. They're gonna dissolve. They're gonna evaporate. They're gonna melt away. You feel me? All praise to the Most High. Let's get another one. See, the Most High already gave the order to one of our forefathers, King Saul, to wipe out the remembrance of Amalek, to exterminate them, to unalive all of their men, women, children, and animals. Right? This is the book of 1 Samuel 15, verse 2. You can read this account on your own. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Right? When we coming up from Egypt, what they do? They smited the young, the elder, the younger, and some of the women when we was leaving out of Egypt. They sneak up from us behind us like some sneaky snakes. Verse 3. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox, sheep, camel, and ass. You see that? The Lord hates them so much, he even told us to destroy their infant, their babies. Suckling, the infants, the one that's still on the titty, destroy them. You see that? Our God is terrible. Our God is a man of war. Our God is about vengeance and payback. Our God is racist. He's for the Israelites only, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right? Let me get this quick precept. You know what I mean? One of the favorites. You understand? This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 18. In the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau, all the house of Esau, including Amalek, for stubble, and they should kindle in them and devour them. And there shall be no, I'm going to read it again, and there should be not, Salakia, be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh, the Most High God of Israel, the Holy One of Israel, the King of the whole earth, the mighty, the terrible, read it on, has spoken it. So these so-called Jewish people want to cause a genocide on us, physically, spiritually, mentally. They want to cause a genocide on the Palestinians. The Lord got something for them. The Lord ain't gonna try, right? He's not gonna make a mistake and having a carnal man do it. He's gonna do it himself through us. And we gotta give the Most High praise and honor and glory and thanks for this, man. And we gotta start living like gods, man, living like princesses, man. We really gotta start being serious about this truth. Pin all your sins away. Stop meddling with them things, man. These things are surely going to come to pass, man. That's why we got to believe on the Most High God. Your faith has to increase every day. And the only way your faith can increase by praying and listening to the words of the Lord. If you're not doing that every day, then what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? You might as well go back in the world. You know, I pray you don't. Right? Because you just playing with the Lord at the end of the day. Let me get this quick precept. Because all these things is going to come to pass. It's the book of Numbers, chapter 11, verse 23. All right? And Yahweh said unto Moses, Is the Lord's hand waxed short? Thou shalt see now whether my word shall come to pass unto thee or not. See that? The Lord is going to save us from our oppressors. The Lord is going to destroy these people for what they done. Right? And then He's going to set us up as the first of the nations, the chief of the nation. He's going to set us up top. And we're going to utterly destroy, exterminate these wicked, defiled, spoiled, dirty creatures, pigs, filthy, slimy snakes, man. Right? And that's all I got through the Spirit right now. Lord willing, back at it tomorrow night. I got some more info to bring out about these damn fake Jewish people with small hats. Got some books, a couple more videos, some more precepts, and I want to get into another lesson. I want to bring out other things, but Lord willing, I'm gonna start going live. I couldn't go live this week, busy week, but I'm gonna start going live. And then you got the usual exhortation and motivation every Friday. You know how we do, right? So I want to give all honor and glory and praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Yeah, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatham. Right? Stay in the Spirit, study, pray, fight these demons, apply the law. And if you got any questions, concerns, comments, anything, hit the email, hit the Instagram. If it be on your heart, cash up a donation through the Spirit. And I love y'all, Israel.